Out of Salamis great Telamonian Ajax led 12 ships, drawn up where Athenian forces formed their line of battle. Then men of Argos and Tiryns with her tremendous walls, and Hermione and Asyne commanding the deep wide gulf, Trajan, Ione, and Epidaurus green with vines, and Achaea's warrior sons who held Aegina and Massus. Diomedes, lord of the war cry, led their crack contingents, flanked by Sthenelus, far-famed Capaneus' favorite son. Third in the vanguard marched Euryalus, strong as a god, son of King Mecisteus, son of Talaus. But over them all, with cries to martial men, Diomedes led the whole force, and his Argive sailed in 80 long black ships. Next the men who held Mycenae's huge walled citadel, Corinth and all her wealth, and sturdy, strong Cleone, men of Orne, lovely Erythrea and Sicyon, Adrastus' domain before he ruled Mycenae, men of Hyperesia, Gonessa perched on hills, men who held Pellene and those who circled Aegion, men of the coastal strip and Helice's broad headland. They came in 100 ships, and Agamemnon led them on, Atreus' royal son. And marching in his companies came the most and bravest fighting men by far. And there in the midst, armed in gleaming bronze, in all his glory, he towered high over all his fighters. He was the greatest warlord. He led by far the largest army. Next those who held Lacedaemon's hollows deep with gorges, Pharis, Sparta, and Messe, crowded haunt of the wild doves, men who lived in Brycea, in Algae's gracious country, men who held Amyclae, Helos, the seaboard fortress, men who settled Laos and lived near Aetalus. Agamemnon's brother Menelaus, lord of the war cry, led their 60 ships, armed them apart, down shore, and amidst their ranks he marched, ablaze with valor, priming men for attack, and his own heart blazed the most to avenge the groans and shocks of war they'd borne for Helen. Next the men who lived in Pylos and handsome Arene, Thryon, the Alpheus ford, and finely masoned Epei, men who lived in Kyparissus and Amphigenia, Teleus, Helos, and Dorion, where the Muses met the Thracian Thamyris, stopped the minstrel's song. From Oechalia he came, from Oechalia's king Eurytus, boasting to high heaven that he could outsing the very Muses, the daughters of Zeus, whose shield resounds with thunder. They were enraged, they maimed him, they ripped away his voice, the rousing immortal wonder of his song, and wiped all arts of harping from his mind. Nestor, the noble old horseman, led those troops, and 90 sweeping ships lined up along the shore. And those who held Arcadia under Cylene's peak, near Apytus, ancient tomb where men fight hand to hand, men who lived in Pheneus and Orchomenos rife with sheep, Stratia, Rhipe, and Anisbe whipped by the sudden winds, men who settled Tegea, Mantinea's inviting country, men who held Stymphalus, men who ruled Parrhasia. The son of Anchius led them, powerful Agapenor, with 60 ships in all, and aboard each vessel crowded full Arcadian companies skilled in war. Agamemnon himself, the lord of men, who had given them those well-bent ships to plough the wine-dark sea, since works of the sea meant nothing to those landsmen. Then the men who lived in Buprasian, brilliant Elis, all the realm as far as Hermone, and Mercinus, frontier towns, in Olenian rock and Elysian bound within their borders. 4 warlords led their ranks, 10 ship flotillas each, and filling the decks came bands of Epean fighters, 2 companies under Thalpius and Amphimachus, sons of the line of Actor, 1 of Eurytus, 1 of Titius. Strong Diores, the son of Amarynceus, led the 3rd, and the princely Polyxenus led the 4th, the son of King Agasthenes, Algius's noble stock. Then ocean men from Dulichion and the Holy Islands, the Echinades, rising over the sea across from Elis. Meges, a match for Ares, led their troops to war, a son of the rider Phyleus, dear to Zeus, who once enraged at his father fled and settled Dulichion. In his son's command sailed 40 long black ships.